Chassid Reb Doiv Zev Koshbanikov. The Frierdiker Rebbe once related, in the name of the Rebbe Rashab, in the year of Tov Reish Lamed Zayin, when the Zayde, the Rebbe Maharash, said the famous Maimer of Ekacha, came to Lubavitch to visit for Shavuos, the Chassid Reb Doiv Zev Koshbanikov. And one of the times that Reb Doiv Zev came to Fabring, I asked him the question, what's a Chassid? What is a Chassid? And he answered me, a Chassid is someone who seeks to do good for a fellow Yid with a devotion, b'mesirus. Somebody who doirish toiva zulasai. The chinuch and the guidance of Zikna Chasidim were to implant amongst the Chassidische Kinder, the young Chassidim, the feeling to seek always to do good to a fellow Yid with a devotion, b'mesirus. And for this type of avodah with devotion, you get the best reward. And Reb Doiv Zev continued, and it happened once with me. I was born and raised in a small village next to the city of Dubryanka, which is in the region of Chernigov. In this village where I was born, there were Lamdashi Yidin and Big Chassidim. We knew a lot of Nigle and Chassidus. My teacher was Rabbi Yoel Zalman, one of the biggest Chassidish Lamdanim. And he implanted within me the good midah to look to do good to other Yidden. So when I came to the age of 12, I already knew a lot of Torah, and I knew a lot of Agodos Chazal, a lot of Midrashim. And in that village were many simple Jewish families, Amaratzim, who didn't even know the simple meaning of the words of davening. I had a tremendous rachmanus on this Pashat Yidden, so I decided to set with them a shir to learn Siddur. And I taught them the meaning of the words of the Siddur, of davening. And during the shir, I'll also tell them Midrashim, from Gemara, stories. This went on for 3 years, even though speaking for me was very hard. I spoke in a very unclear way. And as the years went on, it became even worse. And when I lost my father, I became an orphan, my speech became even worse. Nevertheless, I didn't stop this shir, and I will learn with the simple Yidden in the town. When I came to the age of 17, says Reb Doiv Zev, I traveled to Lubavitch to the Tzemach Tzedek, and I went into Yechidus. I told the Rebbe about the Seder that I have with the Pashat Yidden, the shir that I give. And I complained about the fact that I can't speak clearly. So the Rebbe went deep in thought, and then he said to me, continue with what you're doing with the Pashat Yidden, and be a melamed. And he benched me that I should have the powers of explaining an asfas chalakos, a smooth tongue. When I came out of the Rebbe's room, I couldn't recognize myself. I started to speak like a regular person, and I couldn't understand how did that happen. When I came back home and I chazer the 3 Ma'amor Chassidus that I heard in Lubavitch, everybody who were present or were listening were amazed. How come I'm speaking so clearly and beautifully? So I told them, I am the Rebbe's Goylem. The Maharal from Prague made a Goylem from dirt, and the Rebbe made a Goylem from flesh. The Rebbe Rashab finished by saying a Chassid is somebody who devotes himself to seek the good of another Yid. And from what happened to Reb Doiv Zev Koshbanikov, we could see what's the big reward of a Chassid who devotes himself to other Yidden. The Mashpia Reb Shmuel Greina once related, once Reb Bere Volf, which that was the way Chassidim would refer to him, came on Erev Shabbos Kodesh to the city of Borisov. And since he had to stay in the city for Shabbos, he went into the house of the famous Chassid Reb Shmuel Ber Borisover, and he asked him if he could stay by him. When Reb Shmuel Ber Borisover in later years related his story, he said, I looked at this person who was asking me if he could stay in my house for Shabbos. He's a complete stranger, I never saw him before. So I asked him, where you're from? So he said, I'm from a certain shtetl. So I asked him, if so, is your name Bere Volf? So he said yes. So I told him happily, sure, if so, I agree. You'll be my guest for Shabbos. This was Shabbos Chazain. And the next day, Sunday, was a fast. Was Tisha B'Av. So after Mincha of Shabbos, the Balabatim of the city came to my house, to Rishmol Ber Borisover's house, to hear a mimer, to hear Chassidus. He would chazer Chassidus every Shabbos after Mincha. But when Rishmol Ber saw them, he told them, what is this? Don't you know that we're soon going to Shul to read the Eicha? Today we're not chazering Chassidus. So after the last Balabos left the house, then Rishmol Ber turned to Reb Bere Volf and he told him, No, now you should chazer a maimer. I heard that you chazer ma'amorim beautifully. And Rebbe Volf chazer at a maimer. And when Reb Shmuel Bere described that years later to Reb Groinam, he expressed himself saying, Azat Zung hab ich noch nicht gehört. I've never heard such a tongue. But then, Reb Shmuel Bere said, I chazer to him a maimer. And he was also very amazed. And how do I know that he was nispal, that he was amazed by the way I chazer the maimer? Because he can't compare the letters that I got from him before I chazer this maimer to him to the letters that I got from him after I chazer this maimer to him. The chassid Reb Baruch Shifrin once related that one of the times that I spoke with Reb Levi Yitzchak, the Rebbe's father, I asked him, is it true, the rumor, that you participated personally in transporting the body of Rebbe Volf to another caver? The reason was because in the year Tafresh Tzadik Hey, the government decided to destroy the Jewish cemetery, so they needed to transport Yidden's bones to other places. So the rumors were going around that when they opened up his caver, his body stayed complete, as if he was just buried today, even though it was buried many years before. So Reb Levi Yitzchak told me that he's confirming, that he participated then, and the fact that the body was complete. And he said that the Levaya was done very secretly. That's because they were afraid that if this very rare thing, that a body stayed complete after so many years, if that will become famous, the government might want to take the body and put it in a museum. That's why they had to do it secretly. And when we spoke about the story, this was a few days before the stalkus of Rebbe Levi Yitzchak. So I asked Rebbe Levi Yitzchak, how can a chassid get to such a high level? So Rebbe Levi Yitzchak explained to me that every chassid is really in a very high level, and especially a chassid of the type of Rebbe Volf. And then he said a whole series of praises on Rebbe Volf. Since Rebbe Volf was a Talmud of Rebbe Hillel Paracher, we'll finish off with another niggin from Rebbe Hillel Paracher. Na yedam oy nadam ayedam aydadadam ayam oy mama 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 ayedam aydadadam ayinam ayadam ayanam aydadadam ayoy mama 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 ayanam aydadadam ya inada ya da ya da tere ya mama ya da ya mama mama ya na ay mama ya taridadam 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 tiriyainana taridadam ay mama mama taridadam ay ya mama ya hey mama ya taridadam ay taridadam ay taridadam ayana mama mama ahey ayina mama mama ah mama mama ma 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 yinam ma 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 yinam ma 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 ya ma ma yinam ma 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 ya yinam ma 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 Tadidadam, 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 ayadam, ma 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 mo.